It's here, the Q8. It has arrived. And what an arrival. Worth waiting for, yes. An amazing looking car. Audi are nailing exterior design this year. Instead of this kind of evolution things they do, they're actually kind of giving us something brand new to look at. You know it's an Audi. You know if I took the rings off the front, you'd still know it's an Audi. But yet they've sprinkled something new on it. As always, I'm going to break it down into bite-sized chunks for you. So hit the subscribe button and we're going to start on the interior. See what that's like. And look at that. No surround on the window. I like that. Right, come on. Let's look at the inside. Listen. Isn't that a great thunk? And the thing goes zzz up the top as well. Really good thunk from everything inside the car. Outside and inside. And as always, when I close the door, I feel like I'm in a mahogany sideboard. It just gives that very sound deadening ability in here. Beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. These windows are quite thick, very thick. They got a thick edge to them. You won't hear traffic on the outside. You won't hear it when you're driving around either. I'm in an electrically adjustable seat. You'll see now when I start the car the difference as well. So when I press the start button, everything moves forward here for me, and the seatbelt moves down. You hear that? Audi plays this little doodling tune. A greeting sound is what comes up. So these fit door pocket easy, in this one easy. There's a bit underneath here, won't fit in that. Plenty of spaces and cubby holes and things as well. Underneath here is a wireless charging module, but also there is 2 USB ports up the front. Bonus points for Audi. One of them does the Apple CarPlay and the Google version of that as well. Everything is of course really well put together in here. This is piano black, so fingerprints don't come out on this, but they do come out on the glass. So fingerprints here have little or no effect on that piano black, but on the glass you can see them, of course. That's just par for the course. 2 screens here, 1 screen there. We'll come to that one in a second. These 2 screens here show me everything I need to know about the car. This top one is a reflection of the bottom one. The bottom one controls your air conditioning system, but the good part is it has haptic feedback. When I press something on the screen, it feels like I'm actually pressing a button when you're not actually pressing a button. You're pressing a glass screen. Now, I know people are going to give out to me here. The reliability wise of these screens seems unquestioned. Nobody's complained to me about these screens not working in the future, so if these kind of screens can be done, great. Physical buttons, I have a volume control. I can control the cameras, rear of the car, and top down view as well, of course, obviously. And then I have this other button here that controls driver assistance around the car, so you can turn it to maximum, individual, just basic, which turns off the usual sort of stuff. The screen here does things up here. There is quad zone climate control in this, and heated seats in the rear and the front, heated steering wheel as well. All of it works. There's 2 USB ports in the back, top marks again for Audi. And everything here is easy to follow. But if you can't follow it there, you can follow it here. Because this screen in the center allows you to be able to put things up on the screen that you would use commonly. So your consumption, the radio station listen to, your phone, the sat nav is all reflected up here and here. So you don't have to take your eyes off the road to see what's happening there. Genius. That has been happening for years now. No matter what Audi you buy in the last 5-6 years, that's pretty much there. But this system just works incredibly well. Moving down, gear stick in the center, of course, connected to a DSG box, modern version of DSG box. This is a Quattro as well. Really, the gears is just forward. You pull back with a button press for DS. P for park is on the back of that. Park and actual handbrake is here as well. You got a little drinks holder here with a 12-volt socket inside, which is a soft opener. On the roof here as well is worth looking at is your mic system for your phone, which is incredibly clear. Really, they must boost the signal or something. It really does sound very crisp. This can open my sunroof, moonroof, whatever you want to call it. The glass roof goes across the top of the car itself, and you've also got a sunroof that can be popped up as well. So you press the button up here and it pops the whole thing up, or you pull it back and it pulls the whole roof open as well, so you get that kind of open air experience inside the car. Blue sky today, don't let it fool you, it's bloody cold. In terms of, let me just turn the engine off for a second. In terms of a well put together unit, exceptional. My only problem is that if you got into the A8, the A6, this car, a Q7, any of them, you will have seen this interior before. It is pretty much the A6 or the Q7 interior just put into this unit right here. So I've got the same buttons, the auto, the openers. This isn't necessarily a complaint because this interior is exceptionally well put together, an incredible interior. But it's just, if you're an Audi fan and you're coming from an A6 to a Q8, this is going to be perfectly familiar to you. It'll be exactly the same, in other words. Anyway, on to the back seat. It's freezing now with that roof open. Can you close that? Turn a bloody car on, close the roof. Right, onto the back seat. So the back also has a frameless door. So getting in, of course, tons of room, being an Audi as it is, right? So let's bang that door. What a great thud, they do it every time. Dual zone climate control, dual seat heaters on the back as well. Also, top marks. 2 USB ports, one 12-volt socket in the rear here as well. Absolutely outstanding car. Sorry, that's it. Interview over, or review over. Ella in the middle, of course, our friendly neighborhood armrest with 2 cup holders in the center, which are kind of a small one, so not great. No ski loading facility straight through. And a weird way of doing the back of the seat, it's actually done on a handle. I have to get out to do it. It's not something I can reach on this side, but I'll show you. It's done on the side of the seat, down this way, instead. Which does low flat though. You can go flat with it properly, straight through onto the back of it, which is quite good. Just you have to get out to do it. So it doesn't work well in reviews, but it'll work well in everyday life after that though. Right, to the boot. Oh, I like the way that goes back up. Oh, it's adjustable as well. Slight recline to it. Let's go. Door is electric. This has not got a 5-litre turbo diesel engine, by the way. This is the boot. Quite a big space back here. Plenty of room for everything. There's my camera bag going all the way in. This also has a flip up with the thinnest spare wheel I've ever seen in my life. It's really small, but a lot of electronic couplings over here as well. Now, I can't drop those seats from back here, so that's an issue. So I can't do anything from the boot here. I'd have to go around. Now, it's not a big effort, let's be serious. This is, you know, I can just come in here and do that. And there you have the seat down, right? So it's not a big effort, but there's no way of doing it back here. So to drive, the Audi Q8 is exceptionally quiet. Listen. I'm on a rough little back road here. It's just beautifully wafts along the road. And if I change the drive select into the beautiful comfort mode, then it just softens the whole lot down and you just get to waft along here with my double glazed windows, thick glass, mahogany sideboard doors. It's just a beautiful interior to be alive in. But that's not to say it's a slouch, because this is an SUV, don't forget. But it's powered by a big old diesel unit. But when I say old, what I actually mean is an EU6 engine. If you stand behind one of these engines, you can't even smell it. Nothing. You can't tell it's on. No way of telling. And I can do 800 kilometers output and drop of fuel in this. But later in the year, Audi's going to bring out the Audi e-tron. Of course, then they'll start crowing about their electric offering, which would be very similar to this car, in fairness to it. But this is the diesel one, and you can, at will, do this. It's like a freight train just dragging you along the road. It's absolutely phenomenal. Being a Quattro, obviously the car has 4-wheel drive and has an, I think it's 8 speeds in that gearbox. It seems to have an infinite amount of gear to drive along. You just don't notice it doing its job. It gets on with that job incredibly well and incredibly quietly. The key point I tend to go on about is about 80% of happy ownership, actually being very happy with your car, is looking out the window at your car and going, that's a cool car. Honest to God, I know people who barely drive their car from one end of the day to the next, but they're still happy with it because they can see it and they feel cool when they actually do sit in it. That's what this is. You go down the main street of your town in this car, the whole world will look at you. It is a beautiful to look at machine. Interior, okay, so it looks like the rest of the Audi interiors, but that wouldn't put me off because it's such a good interior anyway. It's just so nice. If you're buying this car into a new Audi for the first time and you're coming in at this level, you're never going to leave Audi. It's a reassuring drive. It's a pleasant, wafty experience. But okay, so if I go down through the modes here and I go down to dynamic, that's where things get interesting, because this actually handles pretty well. For an SUV, sports utility vehicle, or SAV, sports activity vehicle, whatever you want to call it. There is another name. I've got a few different names for that sort of thing, but there's a few names on it, but you know what I mean. That sort of SUV shaped car. This actually handles pretty well. So as a car to live with every day, you're going to be happy with this, I promise you. This has taken the place as my most desirable car now. Not many cars get that close. This car has done that. It has managed to be the most desirable unit I've had this year. I know this has been a very short year, but for the last long time. It was the Volkswagen Touareg. This is a very close cousin to that, but it is the Audi version, and I just love the way it's put together. It's such a nice thing to drive. Honestly, this is the first car in ages that I haven't had a damn good pop at for something. It's just one of those cars that has managed to be exactly what I wanted to be, exactly when I wanted to be that way. And this is in dynamic mode I'm in now, and I'm still going across a big crap bog road, and it works perfectly. This is like jump to 10 cars, bridged up. I suppose it comes from driving electric cars, but I'd love it if the kickdown was a bit faster, but it doesn't have to be. It's fine. Okay, before we go any further, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, because we do these kind of videos all the time. I say we, but I mean the royal we. It's just me that does all these videos all the time. We also do the Sunday service, which every Sunday I do a live stream. I answer questions for 2 hours on the channel. It's grown now to be in its own little, like a radio show or something. So you can join us every Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT. If you can financially support the channel, it'd be brilliant. There are links down below to my Patreon, to my PayPal, and any other super chats and all. That's all there as well. So anything you can do to help us keep going is brilliant. But at the very least, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully I will be able to see you in the next video. But until then, I will see you on the far side.